Play USSSA.
Back at the Mauritius Sports Complex in Mauritius, New York, the Bombers and the Mudcats. Mudcats with a 5-0 lead as the Bombers come to bat in their half of the first inning in this USSSA U12 tournament. Hal Sass and Russ Blatt with you on the call as the Mudcats take to the field, and their starting pitcher, number 21, is Nick Collins. The lefty, a top 5 pitcher. Mentioned earlier, coaches say he's smart, cocky, and arrogant, which is good. Can throw 4 pitches, fastball, curve, changeup, and knuckle drop. From the Massapequa Coast Little League, the Cyclones, one of Nassau County's top Little League programs, as we take a look at the starting lineup for the Bronx Bombers. Batting, Freddie Rojas, who started as the pitcher, will lead off. Zach Semler at third, hitting second. Jonathan Fonseca, the shortstop, bats third. Mark Maitre, the center fielder, in the cleanup position. First baseman Xavier Vargas bats fifth. Angel De La Cruz, an extra hitter, bats sixth. Jose Acevedo, also an extra hitter, bats seventh. Matt Mikulski, the right fielder, bats eighth. Fred Reckert, the catcher, hit number 9. Jordy Toribio, second baseman, bats 10th. Kenny Torres, the left fielder, hits 11th. And George Duran rounds out their lineup, batting 12th. He's an extra hitter, although he did come in and play center field in the top of that first inning.
It'll be very interesting with Collins. As he had about a 25-minute wait there while his team went up and hit very well. So we'll see if the cold weather and this long wait has an effect on his pitching.
Collins, a lefty, works out of the center portion of the mound. Want to know the count on Rojas. So Rojas looking to do some damage with the bat after struggling pitching in that top half of the first, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike.
Yeah, and Collins starts every pitch from the set, doesn't use the windup as I help his control a little bit today.
Off-speed delivery, misses outside, 2-1. Collins wearing number 27, I correct myself. Love the fact they wear these quality jerseys. It's all so professional looking. A lot different from the days of old.
Yeah, I know we talked earlier today before we went on the air about how when we played Little League, we were sponsored by, this car place, that car wash. And here we are now with professional style uniforms with these kids.
I think we wore flannel back then. That ball hit on the ground to second. Up with it and over to first in time as Wilderman to Fontana for the first out.
Yeah, you talked earlier in the top of the first inning about positioning and how it must be difficult for some of these kids to play. Because we are using the 70-foot bases, and you'll see as the cameras pan that the bases are inside of what looks like the dirt cutouts, but really just the brown turf. And the outfielders have to position themselves accordingly, not just by the field, but by the batter.
Zach Semler swings through the first pitch. Collins on the mound. Pete Sanderson, his battery mate, does the duty behind home plate. Fontana at first, Wilderman at second. Jason Coles at short, Mike Conway at third. Give you the outfield following this pitch. That misses outside. Hunter Trinkle in left, Joe Keller in center, and Mike McKenna patrols around in right.
One thing I'm seeing here is Sanderson every pitch looking to his left at the coach, Mike McKenna, sitting on a pail. And I think McKenna's calling the pitches for the 11-year-old.
So far, not throwing very hard, throwing a lot of off-speed deliveries.
Well, it's not always the speed; it's also the positioning. You'll see the batters where they're in the batter's box, where they're inside-outside. Sometimes it's finding the corners, such as Collins did right there. That's more important than throwing 90 miles an hour.
Semler not happy with that call. 8th grader, started playing baseball when he was 4 years old. Favorite team, the Dodgers. Favorite player, Matt Kemp. That delivery hit back right up the middle, and Collins able to come up with it and over to first to Fontana for the second out. Score at 1-3, 2 away.
Collins feeling his position well after at least got himself set. That ball hit back up the middle. Easily caught it. Throw to first, 2 outs, quick 2 outs.
Now batting number 31, shortstop Jonathan Fonseca.
So Fonseca, the shortstop, Jonathan Fonseca, steps in. Nobody on, 2 down here in the bottom of the first. Takes that pitch on the outside corner. And it's 0-1.
Fonseca shaking his head at that call. You'll see something today, especially on the view behind home plate as you see right now. The strike zone is not, if you watch Major League Strike Zone, what you'll see there. Here they call it as it's supposed to be. Basically from basically the chest down as opposed to the belt. And Fonseca didn't like that first pitch, swinging at the second for a strike.
Well, he's in the hole 0-2.
Sanderson way outside for this pitch.
That pitch on the corner. Nope, Sanderson tried to draw the call, but does not get it.
Sanderson sat up outside. He didn't even move the glove, but he was that far outside. And he looked back at the umpire with a question look, but it was a ball outside.
So 1-2. Off-speed delivery, back to the mound again. Collins fields his position over to first to retire the side. So a 1-2-3 inning. Well done by Nick Collins. So for the Bombers, no runs, no hits, no errors. There was nobody left at the end of one inning of play. The Long Island Mudcats leading the Bronx Bombers 5-0 here in Mauritius.
A company created from a mindset of a player because they are players, All Out Sports is affiliated with top manufacturers, so you can come to one place for all your softball needs. Visit alloutsportsonline.com to ensure that our prices will not be beat.
Pronto of Long Island is a diverse community-based organization serving the areas of Bayshore, Brentwood, Central Islip, and neighboring communities of Hempstead to Massac-Shirley. Pronto provides free food through its pantry and gently used clothing and household goods through its thrift shop and warehouse. Pronto also offers a multitude of other community services. For more information on volunteering, donations, or services, please call 631-231-8290.
The most accurate ball launching device ever is here. Flyball 500 serves up grounders, line drivers, and more with pinpoint accuracy. It's a great tool for training and a great way to have some outdoor fun. Search Flyball 500 on YouTube to see a demonstration.
Today's game is being brought to you by Optimum. We're your TV, phone, and internet company. Back at the Mauritius Sports Complex in Mauritius. Beautiful Sunday afternoon baseball as we're covering Championship Travel Baseball semifinal between the Long Island Mudcats and the Bronx Bombers. Hal Sass along with Russ Blatt. And Russ mentioned this is a semifinal game. The winner of this game, who are they going to take on?
We have another game going on here as well, and that is between the Island Trees Bulldogs and the Long Island Jays. Two other teams that did very well in the tournament playing. Right now, waiting to see who's going to play the winner of this game as well. And the Jays have some experience against the Bombers, and the Bulldogs have a lot of experience as well. This is the Bulldogs, I believe this is their first year as an organization, playing 82 games in their first year. A lot of games for these kids.
And I believe we might have some changes in the field this inning.
Yeah, Rojas, who started the game on the mound, moved over to third base. And Eric Sumler went over to, Zach Sumler went over to second. First pitch, McKenna attempted the bunt. And he bunted through it for a strike. Good pitch on the outside corner.
So 0-1 on McKenna. He struck out on 3 pitches leading off the game. That was just the start of things to come in a bad way for the Bronx Bombers. As following that, Collins followed with a walk and all sorts of mayhem, pushed 5 runs across for Long Island. That ball lifted in the air to center field. Tracking on it is Duran. Puts it away for out number 1.
Yeah, McKenna this time makes contact, hits a fly ball to Duran center field. Move it a little bit to his left to make the easy catch. And up comes Collins now, who started all, as you used the mayhem word, in that first inning.
Well, you know, when you're the Bombers and basically hadn't given up more than 1 run in the tournament, and you give up 5, I consider that to be mayhem. So left-handed batter steps in. He walked and scored the first run of the game back in the first inning. Did a nice job on the mound, retiring the Bombers 1-2-3 as well. Look out. That pitch behind Collins, who was just looking over it to anybody to say, what was that?
I'm watching his feet actually as he gets set, and his feet look before that pitch a little bit jittery. He actually moved about 6 inches away from the plate for this pitch.
That pitch in for a strike. Kind of looked like Ichiro in the batter's box, always moving his feet, kind of stepping further away from the plate after that pitch sailed behind him.
Yeah, and it looked like Maestri on that pitch, the second pitch, that was a strike after the throw over his head. Took a little bit off just to make sure he kept his composure and threw a strike. Collins fought the next one off, fouled it off near his, one of his coaches over there on the third base side.
What a great day, though. Sunny. Fans have come out. Players have been here all morning. Vendors have come out to sell their wares. A lot of training devices for players. A lot of stuff going on here at the sports complex. Softball games going on. It's just a fantastic complex on the eastern end of Long Island.
Yeah, and especially after the couple weeks we had a couple weeks ago, having days like today will always make it better.
That pitch in for a called strike, and Collins goes down looking. So two away rather, as Jason Cools, the shortstop will step in with 2 down, nobody on. Cools reached on an error by the third baseman on a fielder's choice attempt throw to second base. He ended up coming around to score as well.
Yeah, Maestri looks like he's settling the team down a little, getting the first 2 in this inning, and now throwing a strike here, the first pitch to Cools.
Cools takes a strike. Take a look at Collins. Perfect pitch on the inside corner for out number 2. Collins not happy, slamming the bat on home plate as he heads to the dugout. That delivery just low.
Behind the plate, the umpire looked like he wanted to pick his hands up, called a strike, but he kept him on his legs, put him back down. I think he was almost going to call that for strike 2.
That pitch in on the corner. Good pitch there by Maestri.
Yeah, Maestri definitely settled himself down for the team, coming through here with a strong beginning of the second inning.
Maestri throws hard, utilizing a fastball here. That ball hit on the ground to third, little two-hopper. Over to Rojas across the diamond, score at 5-3, and a 1-2-3 inning by Maestri. So no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. At the end of an inning and a half, Long Island Mudcats with a 5-0 lead over the Bronx Bombers. Back to Moriches, right after this.
Eleventh Wash is always free. We serve Bethpage, Levittown, Farmingdale, Massapequa, Seaford, and Plainage. We use state-of-the-art computerized foam brushless equipment. Come experience a 21st century clean here at Bethpage Car Wash.
For truly authentic Mexican dishes and award-winning margaritas, stop by Pancho Villa's in Huntington Village. Want to see our menu or make a reservation? Call or click today. Rated the best on Long Island, there's no other choice but Pancho Villa's.
The Moriches Sports Complex on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. The Bombers and Mudcats in the middle of the second inning, with the Mudcats leading by the score of 5-0. Nick Collins on the mound for the Mudcats. Had a nice 1-2-3 inning in the first inning. The left-handed pitcher taking his warm-up pitches. And he will face the Bombers here. It'll be Maestri, Vargas, and Dela Cruz, the first 3 batters in the second inning.
Yeah, Collins, after that good bottom of the first inning. During that at bat, as you said, slammed his bat to the ground, went back into the dugout, and let's see if he got his focus back on what he needs to do on the mound, as opposed to that third strike he took earlier in this inning.
So Pete Sanderson, the catcher, goes out to the mound to have a word with his left-handed pitcher, give him his thoughts heading into this second inning. And Mark Maestri, who started the game in center and came in to pitch to end that first inning, will step in. Tall, lanky, right-handed batter.
Tall, definitely a word. He's about 5'5", 5'6", it looks like.
Gotta be about that.
Sanderson is just up to his shoulders there. The catcher Sanderson for the Mudcats.
And again, we've mentioned it earlier. This is an 11U Mudcats team playing up in this 12U tournament.
Yeah, the Mudcats, they're very proud of that they've played half of their games in the 2012 year against 12U teams. An 11U team, they've won 7 tournaments, from baseball, having a Memorial Day tournament, sports on the beach, old school. They've won a few, and even the ones they haven't won, they've been the finalists or semifinalists in 5 or 6 other tournaments. Very, very successful year for the Mudcats.
So Maestri steps in, right-handed batter, looking to get something going for the Bronx Bombers, trailing 5-0 as we start the bottom of the second inning. First pitch swinging, fouls that one back to the screen. 0-1 the count.
Yeah, Maestri swung at a pitch that was a little bit down, probably out of the strike zone. Would have been a ball as it bounced past Sanderson, and down 0-1.
Remember, they play 6 innings in this championship. Breaking ball missing outside. Sanderson setting up outside.
Collins, as you said earlier, does throw those 4 pitches, and I've seen 3. I haven't seen the knuckle curve yet, at least not that I've noticed.
That pitch, a fastball swung on and missed. Knuckleball getting a lot of press lately as Ari Dickey wins the Cy Young for the Mets, the National League. First knuckleball pitcher ever to win the Cy Young.
Yeah, you'll see probably a lot more kids in the minor leagues trying to develop that knuckle curve or the knuckleball itself.
Off-speed pitch hit to Cools, who juggles, recovers, throws to first, but Fontana cannot hold on. He bobbles it, and Maestri reaches on the error. Have to give that error to Fontana, who could not handle the throw from Cools. Cools bobbled the ball originally, came up with it quickly and threw to first. Probably would have had the runner, but with the error at first, Maestri on leading off in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, I wasn't able to tell if Fontana either closed the glove too soon or if it hit him in the palm there.
Runner goes, and no throw. Got a great jump. So Maestri, after the error, steals second. He is there with nobody out.
Well, it's a good start for the Bombers here in the second inning to get their leadoff man on and get into second base in scoring position right away. Get a run in scoring position, maybe they can start cutting into that lead.
That ball hit in the air to center field. And now that one gets by Keller in center. So Maestri scores. On his way to second is Vargas, in with an RBI double, and it's 5-1 Long Island.
And just as I said, how important to start cutting into that lead. There Vargas goes, slaps a double just past Keller in center field. And the Bombers get on the board, down 5-1 now.
Take a look here as Vargas with a nice swing. The left-handed batter, 13-year-old out of Brooklyn, delivers the RBI double and motors his way into second, and that's where he is with nobody out for Angel De La Cruz.
De La Cruz, one of the 3 extra hitters for the Bombers in their lineup.
Takes that pitch in for a strike. De La Cruz, 12 years old, 5'7", 165 pounds, out of Brooklyn, where he attends IS 71. That ball fisted. Will it get into the outfield? It does. Keller cuts it off. They'll hold the runner at third as Vargas moves to third on the single by De La Cruz. So runners at the corners with nobody out.
And here comes McKenna out to talk to his pitcher and his infield. He's still talking to Fontana about that play at first base on the leadoff by Maestri. And it looked like down that pitch that De La Cruz took an outside pitch and just slapped it also out to right center field.
That pitch off the end of the bat, but gets into the outfield and drops. But Vargas, not a fast runner, has to hold at third. Safe play with nobody out. So runners at the corner. Mudcats coached by Mike McKenna, Carmine Fontana, Alex Cools, and Pete Sanderson, the 4 coaches. Eric Semler is the head coach for the Bronx Bombers, assisted by Dion Vargas. Their bat boy is Declan Semler.
You saw Declan run out earlier when they did the lineups. A lot of energy.
Runner goes from first. They'll throw through down to second. The throw is knocked away, and coming in from third is Vargas to make it a 5-2 game as De La Cruz steals second, and that's where he is with nobody out. So 2 runs across here, making it a 5-2 game.
Yeah, the Bombers did the typical double steal, man on first, man on third, and De La Cruz went right away on the pitch. Sanderson made a good throw, just couldn't hold on at second base, and since the ball got away, Vargas came in to score, 5-2.
That ball is fouled up against the screen.
They had the pitch out called. Sanderson made a good throw, just couldn't get that tag down. And the Mudcats are willing to give up the run to get that out.
So Jose Acevedo, 12-year-old out of Brooklyn, started playing baseball at age 5. Favorite player, Alex Rodriguez. Pickoff attempt, nobody covering. Collins tries to keep him close at second after De La Cruz stole second. Don't want him taking off at third base.
That was an interesting way that they were doing that pickoff. The third baseman ran in, shortstop ran to third. It's almost like the pinwheel play.
Grounded to third, looks the runner back to second. Across the diamond, low throw, cannot be handled. So runners safe all around at first and third.
Yeah, that time Conway over at third after he caught the two-hopper. Looked the runner, Angel De La Cruz back at second, and looked like he short-hopped the throw, short-armed the throw just a little bit at short-hop Fontana, who couldn't scoop it out. And that error on Conway now leaves it back to first and third with nobody out, down 5-2 for the Bombers.
So 2 in, 1 in scoring position. As it brings up Matt Mikulski. Right fielder takes it called strike 1. Mikulski, 13 years old, out of Mohegan Lake, New York. And the Copper Beach Middle School, 8th grader. 0-1 count, throw it to first. Just to keep Acevedo honest.
It's interesting listening to, as you say, where all the kids are from, that they are the Bronx Bombers, but you have Brooklyn, you have Bronx, you have all over the city.
Breaking ball misses high. Evens the count at a ball and a strike.
Yeah, Mikulski ducked under that pitch as it came in just a little bit high. Another few inches down. I think that would have been called a strike in the 12U game.
Temperatures warming up a bit. Sun really prevalent right now. That ball hit on the ground to third. Looked to second for the force for 1. They looked to throw to first, but not there. And running in with the third run is De La Cruz for the Bronx Bombers.
Yeah, when Wildman got the ball over at second, he knew that he probably wouldn't be able to throw out Mikulski, so he looked at home and wisely held the ball. This way you have man on first with only the 1 out.
On the replay here, slap to third. You think double play right away. Can't really concern yourself with the runner. The force at second is good. No relay to first. Run comes across. 5-3 now the score. As Collins in a bit of trouble here with Mikulski at first following that RBI fielder's choice. And the catcher, Fred Reichert. Runner goes on a pitch out. Throw down to second is wide, and it's a stolen base for Mikulski.
Yeah, Sanderson again called that pitch out, probably from his coach, McKenna. Again, they called it just right, but the throw tailed on the first base side, and I couldn't tell from where I was sitting if the throw hit the runner or if it was just off the glove of Cools covering the base.
Third stolen base of the inning for the Bronx Bombers. Off-speed delivery, fisted to first. Look at the spin on that ball. First baseman Fontana takes it himself, tags out the batter, and dancing to third is Mikulski, and he's there with 2 away.
Yeah, on that bouncing ball, Fontana did the right thing there. He just picked it up, made the tag, and held the runner at third base to keep it at a 5-3. You don't want to make any extra throws at that point.
So 2 away for the right-handed hitting second baseman Jordy Toribio. That pitch misses outside. Toribio, 12 years old, 5'3", 120 pounds, from the Bronx. 7th grader. Breaking ball on the corner, evens the count at 1-1.
You can hear in the background through probably the field mics, you can hear more and more and more. That's towards third base where Mikulski is, telling him to get a bigger lead because third baseman Conway is playing a little bit off of the line there.
Breaking pitch catches the corner at the letters, 1-2.
Yeah, the last pitch caught the inside corner on the looked like a curveball. And the same pitch he threw earlier outside that came over. So I think that Toribio, was not ready for that pitch coming inside.
Toribio in the hole, 1-2. Runner bluffs down the line. That pitch missing outside, evens the count at 2-2. Toribio, favorite team Boston Red Sox. Favorite memory? Playing baseball in Cooperstown. Anyone who's ever been up to Cooperstown knows how gorgeous it is up there. You've got the Hall of Fame game that they play in Cooperstown. Really done a nice job in the town of building additional fields throughout the town, and a lot of tournament action up there. If you're a baseball fan, you just got to make your way up to Cooperstown.
I'm just more amazed that he's from the Bronx and he's a Boston Red Sox fan.
That pitch on the corner for a called strike 3 to retire the side. So